Hi, I'm John and welcome back to my Lair of Action Figures. Today we're going to be having a look at another classified figure. Of course, this is the Frag-Viper from the G.I. Joe Classified series line. Again, this is a figure who's made in China. I'm going to be talking a bit more about it because I'm going to believe that this is something of really important to talk about because Hasbro did kind of pull a fast one on us saying, well, you need to be more patient. We're delocalizing our productions, and we're going to be doing it in Vietnam. Now, currently, we only have 2 figures out of Vietnam. If you watch my This Week in Action Figures, you will know that the other ones who have been announced are still from China. So this one is still from China. This is, of course, a 2025 release in the classified series. So we're going to have a look. As you can see, this is number 153 in the G.I. Joe line. Of course, the box are the standard looks. There's not much to be seen on the behind. Normally we get a bit of a tease of something else, but as you can see over here, there's not much information. And like I said, over here, you can clearly see it's made in China. Of course, these are the new boxes that they have come out with. I'm still liking them due to the fact that you have a blister and you can see most of what you get in this box. Now that we have talked about the figure, let's talk a bit about the prices. So, of course, this one is still available and it's a general release. And the suggested retail price for this one in the US is $24.99 and €29.99 in Europe. So let's dive into the history of this figure. So let's talk history. Now, of course, this is my Frag-Viper from back in the days. So, of course, the original Frag-Viper came out in 1989. It is a bit surprising that they went for this figure over here due to the fact that this figure was maybe not one of the most popular figures in the G.I. Joe line, because if you really think about it, in the original one plus the 25th and all the other figures that came out, there was only 3 different versions of this guy made. So, of course, we're going to have a closer look at the Frag-Viper itself. As you can see, it is a pretty basic figure. It does come with some gear, and as you can see, it is like throwing the grenades. It has those little extra grenades over here, and of course we have the file card. Now if you want to put a pose and read what it's written there, I will let you do it. Of course, this is the great things that a lot of figures are missing is the fact that we don't have any more of the file cards. Now, I don't have one to be able to take out of the box, but I do have my 25th version of the figure. So this one came out in the box set, and as you can see, there's a lot of inspiration from the one that they did in the classified line. It's a bit of a mix between this one and this one, but as you can see, he has a knife over here. He does have a pistol, but I don't have it. It's in one of the boxes in the storage. So yeah, I can't remember. I believe he might have some grenades over there, because yeah, like I said, I quickly picked up one to be able to put it. But as you can see, the figure itself is pretty interesting and does have an interesting vibe about this figure. Of course, you can see the grenade launcher. This is a bit longer, so yeah, it is clearly an inspiration out of these 2 figures over here. A lot of similarities between the backpack and the stuff that came out on the original one. So yeah, it's an interesting figure that they decided to come out with, and surprisingly Hasbro didn't do that many of them. Now that we've talked about the history of this figure, let's dive into what we get in this box. So of course we do get the figure over here, we do get the backpack with the grenades in it, we do get the arm for throwing it, we get his helmet over here, we do have one of the grenades who has a bit of a smoke effect who's going on the way. Then we have the cable who attaches the grenade launcher to the backpack. We also have a little pipe that goes into the backpack to his helmet. And then, of course, we have these 2 pistols over here that are exactly the same ones that we get with the figure Shockwave. So, of course, the holsters are also the same. So, of course, this is a figure that is going to be taking, again, a lot of pieces from other figures. There's certain parts, of course, like the head sculpt and certain other accessories like the belt and the harness, who are of course brand new. Now I do find it very funny that they decided to remove the helmet on this figure. As you can see, he looks like he did want to do some surgery, so I don't know if that's Dr. Mindbender who did some things on him, but it is a bit weird that they decided to go on to these kind of looks on it. I would have preferred maybe not the helmet to come off on this one, and maybe would have preferred something on the Viper, but I can understand. So yeah, you can definitely remove the figure over here. We can see on the side he has some ammo pouches on his upper arm, and then we have a little gauntlet over here. We have some little details, some more pouches over here. Not much on this side over here. So as you can see, it's pretty much a basic figure. If you really look about it, I find this very funny that he has this kind of ruban around his torso. So yeah, that's something of a bit weird. Now looking a bit at the helmet, I mean the helmet, they did a pretty good job on it. So going to have it. As you can see, they really managed to nail the one that they did back in the days, or even with the 25th anniversary. Taking a closer look at the backpack, as you can see, the grenades here don't really look like grenades anymore compared to the other ones, but the backpack has the same idea. Over here you have the hole to put in, of course, this part coming in over here and fixing it in, as you can see. Now when I'm looking at it and the way this is bent, because I've been having a look at the figure, I'm kind of wondering how this is going to age, because this does feel a little bit flimsy, I must say. So yeah, not convinced about how long this may last, and will it hold the time. So of course we do have the arm over here. You can see there's a machine gun over there. Of course you have some holes over here. I'm going to be showing you what that's about. Over here we have the hook. Oops, sorry. I have to the hook over there to clips it on his forearm, and you also have the handle to put in his hand. Of course, you will have the grenade over here. Whoops, sorry, need to. Right, I'm going to put this down. Okay, so as you can see, the camera does have a little bit problem. Okay, so as you can see, there's a smoke effect. With the grenade, you have a little dot over here. And this is this dot that will be placed depending where you want it, so that you can give it the effect of throwing it. So you can have it more at the start, or you can have it more over here to give it this kind of departure. Now, of course, this looks like more of a firing mechanism than something to throw it around. So, of course, we're going to be having a look at some more of the little bits and pieces. So, of course, over here, we do have the hose that goes into the helmet. Sorry for that. And of course we have these two guns. So if you watch my review for what's his name? I have a blank now. Shockwave. These are of course the same kind of guns that come with it. I can understand that this does make a bit of sense to be reusing them. So yeah, as you can see, the figure comes well equipped. So let's talk about, is this a collectible item? Do I think that this item is worth what he is? And do I really like him? Do I think he's an army builder? And I will be giving you my final thoughts also on it in my note out of 10 of this figure. So, starting by the collectible value of this figure. Do I think this is a collectible item? Well, this is a bit hard to say for now. I haven't seen any special sales going up currently for this guy, so he's kind of going around for the regular price. And again, this is always a tricky question due to the fact that this is the first release of this figure, and we all know that Hasbro is going to be milking this franchise. So of course they're going to be doing a retro version of this figure. So then the question comes, is it worth waiting for the retro figure? Because as you can see, technically you could be putting all of this gear on this figure over here. So yeah, this is something that is worth looking into. But if you can pick him up for a good price, why not? But for now, I would say he's not that interesting, like I said, due to the fact of not the retro being out. So yeah, this makes it a bit easier to wait. It's not something that you may want to pass. You could pass for now, or wait for it to go on clearance. These figures have been out for a little while, so yeah, I guess you will be able to get it in clearance if you're living in North America. Sadly, in Europe, we don't have any clearance due to the fact of Hasbro's politics on the selling of this figure. Now, of course, if I'm going to be giving a note out of 10 for this figure, I'm going to be giving it, how to say, 8.59-ish. What they did with the figure looks good. I mean, it's a kind of figure that is from the past. The fact of wanting to gear him up with some extra head sculpt is a nice little add-on to it, and maybe explaining that he might have some electronics who are put into him. So yeah, it's an interesting way of doing the figure, but of course you will not be throwing it, and you would be firing it in this kind of way. So throwing it in this way seems a bit counterproductive when you're trying to recreate what they did over there. So yeah, this is going to be more of a firing situation where the guy's going to be holding it in this way, because there would be no smoke if this item would be not firing. As you can see, this has tendency of popping out. So the figure itself, it's an interesting one. Is it an army builder? Yeah, kind of. Again, this is not something like a Cobra Trooper or any kind of Viper. So you would not have hundreds of these guys on your squad. I picked up a box of 6, so I have 5 extras to open. And I'm not even sure that I'm going to open the 5 ones who are there. So it's going to be something to be able to see. But as you can see, this does have a tendency of also popping out. So yeah, I'm going to give 8 out of 10. There's some good ideas on this figure, but again, if the figure was only made 3 times back in the day, you may want to ask yourself, was it a good choice? So that's going to be an 8 out of 10 for this figure. So that's going to be it for the review of the G.I. Joe Classified Series Frag-Viper number 153 in the G.I. Joe Classified series. If you like this kind of review, please leave a like, share, comment in the section. Did you purchase him? Did you not purchase him? Let's start a conversation around this figure and tell me your opinions about the Frag-Viper. You can also go and check out some pictures that I will be uploading to Facebook regarding this character. I'm going to do some stuff outside, so we can enjoy those pictures. You can also see them on Instagram if you want. The links are in the description if you want to go and check it out. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!